Thank you, Manisha. I think we met briefly last year. I mean, I could say that, many of the things which happen to us, we don't choose them, right? It happens to us. And I think as people, as professionals, as simple human beings, we try to deal with it in our own ways. The same is the case for me. I mean, I was perhaps not knowing about autism till the time my daughter was born in 2003. Till that time, I was any other regular guy. I mean, I did my engineering from one of the good engineering colleges in the country, went and had my, management education abroad, came back, and one of those very few people those days who came back and worked here in India. And then, of course, uh, we wanted to start the family, and we had our daughter, and we discovered we had our own challenges, and we decided to deal with the challenges in a way that it took us to one direction where we were able to help a whole lot of people. When I look back our journey of Akshadhaa from 2012 onwards, when we started with a very modest way, I was nowhere there. It was started by my wife Sumana. She took up this challenge. She left her career and she became a professional. She picked up degrees. She's a master's in special needs. She's the force behind this whole project, and I was there to support her always. But I was working. I spoke to hordes of people across the world. Wherever I went, I took the opportunity to take some time specifically for this to understand, meeting people, meeting professionals, being to institutions, mostly in US and in Europe, and gathering whatever I could. By 2012, when Sumana, my wife, she was already a professional and she was a consultant in many of these institutions here in Bangalore. I mentioned to her that I think there is a lot more to be done and we could actually do that. Our all journey starts with our own children, right? But the whole idea, what you are also doing and what we were also doing perhaps, was that we can only make a community if we include more people. And that is when we are not only going to help our child, we are going to help another 100 children. And that is how Akshadhaa was born. The whole idea was that to make a large community so that each one understands each other, and thereby we come together and we try to do something for this whole challenge what we all are facing. So
If I may
yeah.
ask, Mr. Datta, when you were like you said, you were sort of investigating, for various answers, etc. What were you looking for specifically? Like, for example, in my case, I was looking for cure. I was looking for a medical breakthrough, for example. Obviously, every parent wants their child to normalize, through that challenge that they're born with, right? What were you looking for?
Luckily, by virtue of my earlier education, I was in connect with and my job. I was connected to professionals whom I could immediately access. Within 1 or 2 years of perhaps we discovering our child having autism, we could find out one thing very clearly is that medical interventions are perhaps not very much proven. We chose the field of supporting the individual so that his or her life becomes better. We have a phrase in our website. We say we are enabling people to lead a dignified life full of engagement and contentment. That is what we say. That's a long journey for a person with neurodiversity or autism, but we have a fantastic methodology, and that's where I really feel proud for what Akshadhaa has done. And I come from as I said, engineering and a management background, and having practiced this for 30 years, I can say with confidence that Akshadhaa has kind of cracked that code when it comes to creating this roadmap for an individual with neurodiversity all throughout this life. I mean, we cover the entire life cycle. Now with Akshadhaa Assisted Living, we cover that entire life cycle. That means somebody diagnosed at 3 years of age can actually go over to the rest of the life by following whatever Akshadhaa is able to guide or lead them to. What is proven is therapies. What is proven is special education systems, prevailing practices of engagement for a person with special needs, because every individual is different. In neurodiversity, every individual is different. That is why it is known as a spectrum. So, uh, for me, finding the best of the therapies, finding the best of interventions, finding the best of modalities of taking them through the life, through education, intervention, practices, all this was right from my beginning, wherever I went, I started asking this question. Found fantastic, I would say, solutions, and which I gathered. And of course, as I said, when I say me, my wife was also parallelly working very, very hard in this field, and she gathered, and we all brought our good thoughts together, and that's
Right.
how the program came into being.
So the fact that you actually got down to creating that end-to-end solution, uh, does it also mean that you didn't find that existing in our own country?
It is there in piecemeal. It is
Hmm.
not end to end per se. I won't say that we had the complete roadmap in mind. But then, being a father of a special need girl child, I was always curious to know how their entire life cycle was being managed.
Tell us now, Mr. Datta, about Akshadhaa. What is Akshadhaa about? When did it start? How was it conceived? How is it performing? Where is it going? What's the roadmap for Akshadhaa that you have?
So the meaning in Sanskrit is known as God's blessings. Me and my wife, we started this organization in 2012, October 16th. We started. We registered. This is a non-profit organization. It is based out of Bangalore, and we started with a small room where Sumana, my wife, she was taking care of children. But there is a background to that. She became a professional. She was a consultant in many places, and this was our initiative to do the things in the manner in which we felt was best for people with special needs, particularly neurodevelopmental challenges. Being a parent, I had this experience of going all over Bangalore with my daughter. So it used to be speech therapy, then it used to be occupational therapy, then it used to be special needs, intervention, special needs education. So there were 4 or 5 professionals to whom we were going, and both me and my wife were almost like car drivers who were, kind of ferrying her. The challenge of handling several professionals who are independent, like one person says, no, no, don't listen to that. Another person says, don't listen to that, and we were like crushed in the middle that what we should do. First things what Sumana was very clear, and she did a fantastic job, was to bring all the support services under one umbrella. So Akshadhaa, right from the beginning, had speech therapy, had occupation therapy, had physiotherapy, had special needs education. She herself is a special needs educator. All these therapies were brought together so that the parent need not go all over. And then, when you look at the solution, what Akshadhaa is providing is that all the therapies, they were sitting together and discussing about the case, that is the child, and deciding one among other that how do I do this so that it helps you.
That
So
is the most fantastic thing I've heard from a parent so far. Seriously, we do not realize it's the same individual, and these are all various, therapies to improve that individual, and there has to be that interlinkage, right? Thank you so much for saying it. Please go on. Yeah.
So then Sumana developed this protocol where there were inputs from everybody. So she had right from the beginning a fantastic documentation process. Her documentation was one of the best I've seen anywhere. She kind of assessed the individual, then developed programs, then there was this activity chart for that individual because everybody is different, and then there was a review after say 1 quarter, and that she followed. She still follows for every child. For the last 12 years the organization is functioning. The entire team sits with the families and they tell that, okay, this is what we planned, this is what activities we have undergone in the last 3 months, and this is where we have reached, and this is the delta. We may not have reached, we may not have accomplished whatever we had set out to target. Then what are the subsequent actions which we are envisaging, and then the action is noted down. So it is a continuous process which actually takes the individual from one level to another. There is a constant mapping of the individual's progress all throughout the life at the time he or she is in Akshadhaa. So that is how the organization has progressed, to the extent that very seriously we started thinking right from maybe around 2016, 15, 16. What are the other challenges we as an organization, we as families with special needs people have? A couple of parents decided to start a healthcare initiative. So we have a healthcare initiative which is a sister concern to Akshadhaa. It believes in other healthcare verticals like Ayurveda, Siddha, homeopathy, others. So we created a telemedicine platform. We still run some pharmacies. This organization runs. It's a separate organization from Akshadhaa, but Akshadhaa's program actually, kind of develop these modules. Subsequent programs which came up was Akshadhaa Academy. Akshadhaa Academy is an organization which works for creating more professionals in the field of neurodevelopmental neurodiversity. For example, one of the fantastic programs they have is to train regular school teachers to understand, neurodiversity at a very young age. So this is a very short module of around 7 to 8 weeks. It could be regular school teachers, it could be families, it could be mothers. They start looking at these kids who are so-called difficult for him or her in the class with a different lens altogether. They know that the person has got some challenge and we need to address that challenge. And then we have Akshadhaa Assisted Living, which we started seriously thinking from 2018-19 onwards. I lead that project of Akshadhaa Assisted Living, and it is a culmination of all our learnings and all our experiences in the last 12 years, and we are bringing it together, making a community where we all want to stay together. Who are the stakeholders? The parents, the caregivers, the teachers, trainers. Then we have academia, the students. Then we have the corporates. Then we have authorities. We have the compliance agencies. All these stakeholders, we are bringing them together and making this community, which is also one of its kind.
So that I'm not going to let you get away, talking about the assisted living, vertical so easily. I think that is one of the most, amazing solutions, right? You're working on, which I think is going to be like a first mover solution for various other communities to follow. You have to explain to us what made you think of a brick and mortar solutions. The reason I'm saying this is because I come from that real estate space, right? And when we look for solutions, what we do not realize is that sometimes you need brick and mortar, to kind of format a solution for a larger problem. Every corporate does it. You know that, right? That's how you have commercial buildings, you have residential complexes, and all of this started in a brick and mortar format because that became the best way to concretize that solution, right? So please tell us a little more.
So I think we were pretty matured when we started thinking of Akshadhaa Assisted Living. We really knew the problem because of our journey with Akshadhaa Foundation. Akshadhaa Foundation gave us the impetus, it gave us the direction, it gave us the know-how of how to approach this challenge. And of course, in our individual capacities, our research. If I have to speak for myself, I again went to US in 2012 as a Fulbright scholar, stayed in US for almost 4+ months. So that was a wealth of experience which I had, and that of course gave me a lot of this insight to start Akshadhaa in the first place. But I had seen a lot of those places where people were leading their lives. We took whatever was best, whatever we saw, and we also tried to make it in the context of India. To me, if I have to put the perspectives, the building is perhaps 20% and 80%. 80-20 applies there also. 80% is the program. For me, the program is more important than the building. In fact, the building will come from the program. It's not the other way around. The program should actually bring the building. So in our case, it was definitely this matured way of running Akshadhaa Foundation, which led to Akshadhaa Assisted Living. The first thing what Akshadhaa Foundation journey gave us was this set of people, set of families who think alike. That is very important because people don't trust each other for few hundred rupees. Here we were trusting each other for crores, right? I mean, everybody was putting their lifetime of energy and resources into the project, right? For example, I could say that I was at the peak of my career at the age of 50, and I came out of my job because I felt that this cannot be too timed. It cannot be. It's too difficult, too challenging, too a domain which is completely outside our comfort zone, that I could even do my regular professional work, which I've been doing for so long, and also do this. So that's where that's one of the things which I would specifically mention. And likewise, my other colleagues, other families, other parents of special needs children who are a part of this core group, they also have in their own way done things which is very, very unprecedented, and that's the kind of commitment and sacrifice such projects need.
What I'm hearing is that you all invested your own savings to start this project.
Yeah.
and
Yes.
that's how this whole establishment, the project actually took off.
Yes.
Was there any way of finding external funding, which most of the developers do when they start a project? Did you find that banks were lending to this cause, or anybody else had any idea of finding that this also could be like a revenue generating model, which then they could be stakeholders of? Or was it not going to be a revenue generating model at all, and it was just going to be a program based assisted living format where children and families who were affected could find solutions?
It's always the chicken and egg. As I said, I am educated in US, so we have a saying in US called skin in the game. See, we are not doing anything for our own lives, our own lifetime. Whatever I am deciding today, it is beyond my lifetime. That is where we are going to do justice for our children, right? I mean, they will need us more, or rather, we cannot be with them for their entire lifetime. That's the challenge we have. They're going to outlive us. And that's what we fervently want them to. Yes, people should get convinced that these people, they really mean business and they put their own capital, own hard-earned money. And who are our investors? Our investors are the families, the people who are in this activity. They will be the first believers because they are the people who are with us. They understand, we understand each other's pains. See, again, autism is a hidden challenge. Like it is not physically visible, right? The challenge is internal. So until unless you interact with the person with autism, you will not realize that what kind of excruciating disability this person has. For him, living is a living hell if not taken care of. Because that is what the mind does to you as a neurodevelopmentally challenged person. And my team, everyone we believe in is that let's take the first step forward, us doing something. And
Right.
then obviously there will be people who will notice us. They will see the good work. They would like to come and participate.
So
Then
it's
the
a
journey
it's
will.
a it's a completely parent-led solution format, which is what you're saying in short. Now, in terms of the financial sustainability of the model, Mr. Anirban, because I'm assuming there are resources employed. You have a program which is running for the affected community, and somewhere like how we individuals need a source of livelihood, you also are planning source of livelihood, and this entire ecosystem to financially sustain itself. So where is that worked out? How is that worked out for you?
Many of the answers I also don't have. But if I sit back there thinking whatever I felt was the best at that particular point in time, I did. I mean, there is no way this venture can sustain because student to teacher ratio is 3:1. How will such a venture sustain? And the educators are not at their, so they have to be paid. But then today, after 12 years, Akshadhaa sustains. It is the question of taking the first step.
How many individuals are enrolled right now in the program? Do you have any statistics that you would like to share from where you
Yeah,
started to where you are today?
and we have a plan of enrolling 50 families. We've
Hmm.
already enrolled 38 families, which includes us also. I mean, our project construction is just started with our project office and other things. All of us are parents, and as I said, all of us are investing. That includes me. I'm one of those unique set of builders who is developing, and he will himself move into the project and be a beneficiary of the project.
You'll be a self-occupier. So if you had a family, say, somebody who hears us speak today and they have this need for exactly the kind of solution that you have programmed, they want to be a part of this ecosystem, how does what would be your instruction manual to them? What are the next steps that you would want them to follow?
We have one need assessment form. I mean, that means we will definitely work with families when we understand the need. See, the understanding need is very important because as an organization, a set of people, we don't want to commit something which we cannot deliver. We would want to know the need of the individual, need of the family, and then of course we will have a very open discussion and take the next steps. Then of course comes trying to understand what the technical modalities and of course what are the other commercial modalities. All these things we will evaluate and then decide to take it forward.
So there is a filtering, there is a filter that you have put in place so that you know that yes, the solution that you have can accommodate. Excellent. Going forward, Mr. Datta, you have a solution today which you have embarked upon, and I'm sure innovation has to be the key.
Yes.
Like you rightly said, nobody can have all the answers, especially in a journey like this. And how do you think technology can help you reach out to more people like you, get more like minds attracted to this kind of solution finding process?
I would like to talk about technology first, because that is something which we all believe here in Akshadhaa very, very dearly. When Sumana started with 4 children, those 4 kids are still with her now. They're all grown up. That includes one was of course my daughter also. So when she started, she had a room where there was an LCD projector and a screen and a good sound system and 4 CCTV cameras. She said that first and foremost responsibility for her as an organization, as an institution, as a teacher, is to ensure safety for the people with special needs. Then comes their engagement. Engagement means, like, even if I try to teach them on a board or if I can project it, the impact is even bigger. Third thing is that I'm talking about early days, the thought, because you wherever you start your journey from, somewhere it takes a direction, right? So we took this direction right from the beginning, and that was her thought. The speaker system, a beautiful speaker system, the best one that time available. She had it because she said that some of them don't have an attention span, so I need to speak on a microphone. I need to make them recognize their voice. So she had all these ideas from which were little out of the world actually. So first was safety, second was engagement, and third was happiness. These were the three fundamentals with which she created Akshadhaa, and she continues to do this even today. Or today, Akshadhaa uses Salesforce for their donor management. That means if you donate 100 rupees to Akshadhaa, you will be able to see how this 100 rupees is spent. Because as a donor, I need to know how my money is being spent, whether it is being spent as per the plan or not. So anytime you can access the portal and you can see so that is how she uses technology. Then there's a proper school management software. There is a proper face recognition attendance for the children. As then going forward, it is going to become even more. We are wanting to work with AI now with so much advancement coming up, where we would want to track people's health, people's engagement, people's happiness. Going forward, these will be the tools. Perhaps reminiscence of my corporate career of 30 years is that I love working with data, and we have a data analyst with us who keeps churning data and keeps telling us that these are the kind of decisions, this is the kind of new things which is happening. We keep tracking our students in terms of how they are progressing.
So it actually sounded like Akshadhaa has become a passion project for a set of parents out there, these 38 families who are using everything, all the strengths that each of you probably have in different areas of life. And you're trying to, use your expertise into creating this wonderful solution for your children, right? Making a space which is going to be so unique that you don't have to fall back on any other external environment for any kind of support. That is the kind of messaging that I'm getting as a parent, and this is so beautiful for me because I'm sure every parent of a child with any kind of disability has the same concern. And I'm only thinking to myself that most of the time we as parents, we crib, we wait for solutions. We say that हमारे पास ये नहीं है, हमारे पास वो नहीं है, government को ये करना चाहिए, people have to help us in this way. And here you have a set of parents who started out without worrying where the journey is going to lead them, put in everything that they had, whether it is their acumen, whether it is their saved wealth, to create a solution for your children. This is so beautiful to hear. And I think this is what this narrative is going to probably carry forward. This sense that sometimes we have the ability to create solutions. We have the ability. So all we need to do is maybe pack up together, and you need to have a few like minds to come together and say, what, I too want to contribute with whatever I have and help you make the solution bigger and brighter.
I'd just like to add on to this.
Please.
See, society will come, people will come. I mean, we have an excellent connect with all stakeholders, as I said. it could be authorities, it could be academia. There are more than 17, 18 universities and colleges who are affiliated, who are connected with Akshadhaa. We have interns coming from there for exposures. It's a huge, I would say, service which we are also providing to the society, and society will value you, and then society will come forward, which is what is happening. And then, as I talk about assisted living, we are not doing anything which we have not done before. We have all done these programs already done. We are kind of creating, as I said, a space specific which can take this program to the next level. On the other hand, nobody can survive without the society's support. Absolutely. But society will come only forward, and that's my experience, only when they know that you are genuine and you really mean what you intend to do. And that can come to something which they look at it and say, okay, this is nice. This is what you guys have done. Yeah, we have done. Okay, fine. How can I come and help you? And that is how I think I have seen society coming forward.
You very beautifully, talked about how technology can be woven in and how it can, help to sort of, redefine the solution better as in how we progress into future. How about the awareness aspect? And the reason I'm harping on awareness is because sometimes, if you fall back on your own journey for that matter, it took you the first few years to make yourself aware, and hence you were able to embark on this journey, right? And sometimes I feel parents they actually waste a lot of time getting fully aware, and sometimes that time lost becomes very, very crucial to to that life affected, because what we talk about as an early intervention can be so much more beneficial, right, for a child who is affected with any kind of disability. So is there any awareness program that you do in general, or you're thinking of incorporating in general? Because you never know who is affected, who is not, but maybe if it falls on the ears, parents can be a little more aware of, okay, there is this particular medical condition which requires a solution like this, and this is a place where they can probably go out and approach when they even get that inkling that something could be wrong.
As I speak today, the entire team with students, they are in one of the large corporate houses in Electronic City, where they are trying to work on vocational products along with the people of that organization. Number one, that is an amazing activity which I have seen personally, and it excites people so much that they are wanting to know an important facet in their life which they were missing for such a long time. The team does so well. They have programs, sensitization programs. Every last 2 years we have been in inclusive. We have been in Purple Fest Goa with our program called Inclusive Carnival, which actually sensitizes anybody walking on the street who can come forward and get this small exposure of half an hour, 15 minutes, and know what is neurodiversity all about. So these are all modules which have been curated through these learnings, and they are sensitizing the important stakeholders, students, corporate houses, man on the street, anybody who is coming in touch with the organization. They're getting sensitized. Not just it's not an ordinary sensitization that we show the organization, this is what it is, this is what we do. No, there's a module. You come next time to Bangalore and you be a part of that module, you will feel thrilled. Oh my God, this is how I know so much now about neurodiversity. People can include people with neurodiversity by virtue of these programs. They are much more aware. They become better human beings after this exposure.
Absolutely. There is a large focus nowadays on, hiring neurodiverse individuals in corporate workplaces. I think that's amazing, because somewhere, that lack of empathy in corporate workplaces seems to be slightly dissolving, because the moment they start talking about hiring diverse, now they're also thinking of hiring neurodiverse. Do you feel that the children of these 38 families, including your own daughter, somewhere stands to be employed in a corporate workplace in the future? Obviously, depending on the degree of how the diversity has affected them. Do you think that is a possibility where Akshadhaa could become a source of fresh talent, for all to corporate workplaces tomorrow?
100%.
Yeah.
You have taken words out of my mouth. We are actually working so deep on this. We believe that every individual has got something to contribute. The programs are such designed that it is not only for people who are so-called high performing, but also for people who can become capable of doing uh, various things for the society. Okay. So when I say a job, I'm looking at the job from engagement perspective. What does a job do to an individual? It gives livelihood, it gives satisfaction, it gives that feeling to the individual that, look, I am also valued by the society, valued by people around me. This is what a job does. Now, the definition of workspace is changing. Definition, the workspace is no longer the same workspace where you go every day morning, park your car, go inside, sit in your desk and start writing. That's not the workspace today, and even tomorrow it is going to be even more different. Now we are definitely wanting to harness this changing scenario of workspace and making more and more neurodiverse people getting engaged with the corporate or with the where not only they can get engaged, they can have a business of their own. I can be self-employed. I can be a gig. I can have a small gig which people can leverage for their own. I can create some value in my own capacity. And at Akshadhaa Assisted Living, perhaps we have a clear plan of developing spaces which are going to be perhaps spaces which are capable of giving the best to a person with neurodiversity. Because see, a person with neurodiversity going to a regular workspace, there are a lot of stimulation, there are a lot of sensory challenges for him or her. But look at Akshadhaa Assisted Living. I could imagine a large corporate having a office at our premise, and we have everything. We have water therapy, we have physiotherapy, we have therapists, we have interventionists, we have counselors, we have everybody there in that place who can work on the individual. In case he is having a low for some reason, we can work on him so that he becomes productive. So we are going to have those inclusive spaces which any corporate can adopt. And perhaps we can, as you rightly pointed out, you took words from my mouth, that we would be in a position to actually give companies candidates whom they would be willing and loving to hire.
I think this is the beauty, and I feel somewhere the more conversations that we have, the more people we connect with, from different backgrounds of life, who are working on solutions to create that social impact, to make the society better. We will have amazing solutions eventually for every individual. One tough question for you before I start doing the wrap up. So where do you differentiate? Is Akshadhaa, in short, going to be open for others? Is your program going to be able to accommodate people with different disabilities someday? What do you think of this?
I always believe in starting small and taking very concrete steps. When you talk about this neurodiverse population or neurodevelopmentally challenged population, that itself is 1 in 36 as per CDC report of 2020 says that is born with neurodiversity. What happens is that whatever we are trying to do here in Akshadhaa is perhaps extremely minuscule, but the beauty is that what it is doing is perhaps a model. It's perhaps something which can be taken forward in a way in which it can get multiplied several times for different categories of people. See, when I tell you that documentation for a person with special needs, I don't think I'm talking about one special need there. That universal method of documentation is even for the company I worked for. See, I would have documented my project like that, and that is what is being followed. So when I talk about these templates, what Akshadhaa has created for specifically one disability, these are perfect for any other disability for that matter. But whether we will be able to do that job or not, we don't know. Whether we will have the bandwidth to do that job or not, we don't know. But as you rightly said, the world is a big place. We don't know who is going to listen to this. We'll be very happy to collaborate. We'll be very happy to take it forward. But as I said, I always believe in the fact that we want to show what we thought is possible. And then somebody comes in and says, you guys have done this? Amazing. Let's look at it. How can we take this forward? How can we make it more happen? Can we have more Akshadhaa assisted livings across the country, across the world? Possible. Definitely possible. Because the model is there. Today, when I say 50 families, We have just decided on this random number considering certain parameters. There is a way in which we can definitely extrapolate, definitely magnify. And as I said, whether I do it or whether you do it or anybody else does it.
It's a lovely way to encapsulate, Mr. Datta. I think what you're saying is you've created a model. It started with a self sort of, investigating kind of a journey. It was a solution that you wanted for your own child. You teamed up with like minds. You're taking it organically forward. So there is no to anything. Ultimately, I think the bigger the solution, the better the solution, the more adaptable the solution, and the more executable the solution. I think that is most important, because it should not be that you get too ambitious, you go too far without being able to sustain that method of having created that solution. So perfect. One last question before we say bye for today. What is your ask from anybody who's listening to us? What is it that you need as a support for this venture that you have started, this movement that you have started?
As I think I'm so thankful to you to have given this opportunity or created this opportunity that we could talk. We are an outwardly looking set of people. We would love to engage with more and more people. We would like to give more than anything else to others. The ask is that please come, please meet us, please show interest in understanding about what are the aspects we are dealing with for the society. We are kind of trying to find, I won't say we are solving, we are trying to find a solution for a challenge which the society has in big numbers. We're trying to address that. What we do, sitting with us, spending some time, that itself is good enough for us to give that satisfaction that we are on the right path, and perhaps in some way we are adding value to the society.
Absolutely. I think that's a fair ask, Mr. Datta. I think every problem requires solvers at the end of the day. So thank you so much for adding to my narrative of excellent people doing excellent work. You are one of the heroes from amongst the people that I know. So keep doing the good work. Lots of strength and power to you and your wife and your daughter for having led the way. So till we meet again.
Families.
And all the families. So someday I will get to meet all of you in person. But till then, please take care and stay blessed.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Thanks a
much.
lot.
Thank you.